This is Brittany freaking Chavez, and welcome to the first installment of Toltec Astrology. In this video, I'm going to go over how the different signs and placements work for Toltec Astrology, and I'm going to go over why I decided to name this series what I did. First off, I decided to call this series Toltec Astrology because I study the sacred calendar of the Tono Pohualli, and this calendar belongs to the people of Mesoamerica. A lot of people might refer to this as Mayan or Maya astrology or Aztec astrology, and I am neither Mayan nor Aztec, and I don't wish to claim or appropriate the sacred practices of those people. Those people are still alive today. Their descendants are still alive today, and they still have sacred calendar keepers. I am simply a person who really enjoys Toltec astrology, Toltec way of life, Toltec belief system, anything Toltec, I am here for it. I have read everything that Don Miguel Ruiz has put out. I've read everything that Victor Sanchez has put out. I've read all of the works of Carlos Castaneda, and my belief system or my form of spirituality is very heavily based on all of those works and all the things that I've done to research that ancient culture and that ancient form of spirituality. After years of studying ancient Toltec spirituality and way of life and, path and how to be a better person using this form of knowledge, I came across the calendar, and this calendar is a sacred ancient calendar, and we don't even know how long it's been in existence. It's so old and so ancient. So it's quite possible that the Toltec people, who were the ancients when the Aztecs were alive, maybe they instituted this calendar, or maybe there was some other form of calendar before that. I keep the calendar because it helps me stay intentional, and it helps me understand the energy of the day. And I don't look at it as any different than people who, keep astrology, like modern Western astrology or even Chinese astrology. So that is kind of my path and where I'm at with this. And like I said, this is called Toltec Astrology because I do not want to take away from the people and the descendants who are alive today, who have lived, who have suffered at the hands of religion and of, organized governments and things like that. I in no mean want to detract or take away from them. And so therefore, I want to call this something absolutely, totally different. A lot of these concepts are what you would find if you were studying Maya or Mayan or Aztec, whatever you want to call it, that type of astrology. For me, Western astrology never made sense. And I feel like a lot of my friends who are New Agey or witchy or whatever you want to call it, they are really into the Western astrology. For me, I just couldn't make sense of it. There's too many planets and placements, and it didn't really seem to fit my life or my way of being. So I decided to jump into doing Toltec astrology because that actually makes a lot more sense to me. And it's a lot easier for me to keep sense of the days. It makes sense in my mind. And so my goal is to share this knowledge with you and to help you stay intentional. So the purpose of figuring out your Toltec astrology placements and chart is to help you understand what days you might be able to create more power for yourself, or what days might be good or lucky days for you. And they can also help you understand parts of yourself that maybe you hadn't thought about. So just like, Western astrology or any other form of astrology, this is really a way of knowing yourself and of understanding what your strengths and your weaknesses are, and then moving forward and creating a life where you work towards balance and towards, helping yourself be a better person. I thought the best way to show you guys about Toltec astrology would be to actually go through a chart and to just teach you about the different placements and to help you understand what the different placements mean. And so I'm just going to go through and show you my chart really quick. And here up on the screen, this is what my chart looks like. Now you see this and you might be like, oh my gosh, it's like a weird pyramid thing. I don't really understand what it means. It looks kind of like a compass. It is like a pyramid, and you sit at the center of the pyramid. And this chart is what it looks like when you get a Toltec astrology chart done. These are what all your placements would look like. This little triangle that we have here on the chart, this denotes the year. So each year is a cycle, and it's grouped into 52 years, and each year is ruled by a certain direction. So each year has a different set of specific qualities, and these qualities help to denote what your role in society is, or how you fit exactly into society. And so each person is born under a year that is either east, south, west, or north. And that tells you where you best would fit into society and where you best would be and how you could use your skills to benefit society and maybe even to benefit yourself. The next thing that we talk about is the outer circle, and that is your Venus placement. This reveals like what phase Venus was in when you were born. And this also talks about society roles. It talks about your deeply held values. And a lot of people believed, you know, in ancient times that Venus was like the house of the deities or the gods. They believed that like the god or creation energy came from Venus. And so this is a very important placement. A lot of times this can tell you deep insights to how you are in the world and what you are meant to do or meant to be in the world. The next thing that we'll look at is the first step of the pyramid. And this placement is called the Lord of the Night. And this is a 9-day repeating cycle. And people believe that this is linked with your subconscious mind. Some people who like to study Western astrology have linked the Lord of the Night with Mercury placement in Western astrology. So a lot of the times the Lord of the Night placement is your impulsive like character traits or inherited behaviors. And a lot of times these are things that people are wholly unaware of until somebody else points them out to them. So unless you're somebody who does a lot of deep reflection, it can be difficult to really understand some of those deep inherited maybe patterns or ways of being that you have. And so I think the Lord of the Night is very good at kind of illuminating some of your deeply held patterns and just helping you become aware of, again, finding balance in your life. The next placement that we're going to look at is the trichania. And the trichania is a period of 13 days that repeats in 20 cycles. So it's almost like 20 months of a year. Our year has typically like 30 days in a month, but a trichania is a 13-day period. And so I release videos on every new trichania to kind of let people know what the energy is like and what the next about 2 weeks are going to be like for the world and what that will look like in your life. So if you're interested in learning more about Toltec astrology and getting updates, make sure to give me a thumbs up on this video and definitely subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss any of those updates. So again, the trichania is almost like your moon sign. If you're familiar with Western astrology, it's like the hidden part of yourself and your personality and more like hidden themes and desires and interests that you might have in your life. And understanding your trichania is really helpful in just knowing yourself and knowing who you are and helping to manage yourself and your emotions. And then at the top step of the pyramid, finally, we have our day sign. And so day signs are a repeating set or cycle of 20 days. And these are most like sun signs in Western astrology. So these sun signs reveal like parts of your personality and your destiny. And it's like how other people see you and how you see yourself and the things that are very apparent about yourself and your personality. And then the final thing that I look at when I do an astrology chart is I look at the tone or the crystal tone or galactic tone on the day of which you were born. And so remember, I said that trichania is a 13-day cycle. And so your galactic tone is what day in that trichania you were born in. And so if you guys are super interested in this, like I said, please thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I will be going through my chart now, and I will be working on the astrological placements of famous people. So that is going to be a really super fun project, and I'm really excited to get started with that. Click the link in the description below to support me on Patreon. I give people daily divinations that have to do with the calendar. And if you guys would like to book a reading with me where I go over your astrology placements, the link is also in the comments for that as well. Thank you guys so much, and I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you subscribe so that you can see what's coming next.